Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and in today's Walking Dead video, I'm going to be discussing the top 10 best characters in the Walking Dead Telltale series. And what I mean by best characters is these are my most liked characters based on a number of things. How they acted, how they were received by fans in general, how they were received by me, and what they brought to the story, and how they helped other characters out, and why they stood out from just the regular characters. Before the final season, I made a top 10 best characters list, and this is my update to it now with the final season being wrapped up now. If you want to check that video out, that'll be linked in the card in the top right in the description down below. Also, a quick thank you to everyone who supported our first top 10 videos since the final season ended. 2.1k likes in a week. Our goal for this video is 2,500 likes in a week. Can we do it? I challenge you guys. If you want to see more, also be sure to hit that subscribe button. There will be another one coming next week, and I will be using viewer suggestions in the comments section. So if you guys have any topics you want us to cover, leave them down below. And let me know your top 10 lists down below in the comments, and hope you guys enjoy this video very much. Alright, enjoy.
Down with the girl and hash it out. Find a map, for Christ's sake. I'd give you one if I had it. And if something were to happen to you...
It won't.
If it were, you gotta prepare the girl.
At my number 10 spot, I picked Chuck from Season 1, Episode 3 to Season 1, Episode 4. In my opinion, he's one of the most underrated characters in this game. His importance to how everything goes with Clementine is very underappreciated in my opinion. His entire lessons that he taught to Lee about teaching telling Lee to teach Clementine to shoot a gun, telling Lee cut Clementine's hair, get a map, hash out the plan. None of this would have been possible without Chuck. And his resilience in the end saves Clementine from a horde of walkers, and it ends up leading to his death, which is unfortunate because Ben leaves Clementine and Chuck ends up going to save Clementine, and we unfortunately find his body in the sewers. It's just one of the most unfortunate things. Chuck was such a kind-hearted man. First we meet him on the train thinking maybe he might be a weird hobo, and all that. He ends up being probably one of the nicest characters in the entire series, and just by a couple actions, he earned himself a spot on this list. Never forget Chuck's words, guys, and even Lee referenced it in the flashback in the final season. It's never forgotten. Never forget Chuck, a legend. Alright, let's move on to our next one.
But I'm Krista. I don't want to call her Krista. That's just confusing.
So name her Genevieve. I don't care.
How can you not care?
At my number 9 spot, I picked Omid from The Walking Dead Season 1, Episode 3 to The Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 1. Unfortunately, I feel like so much more potential could have been with Omid if we had gotten a lot of time with him in Season 2. But his death was just one of the most heartbreaking things, and it's a Walking Dead moment that, weren't surprised because it's The Walking Dead. A moment like his death was inevitable to happen. What made him get to this list for me was probably a couple of things. The first thing being his kindness. Just like Chuck, his kindness was at the top. We also have to say his relationship with Krista. That was another great factor. I thought they were a great couple. They had a lot of great chemistry. There was a lot of funny moments with them too. Omid was funny too, yes. Very entertaining. Especially when you break that vase, you broke that dude's face, dude. Or the I'm Omid famous thing that pops up all the time. There's a lot of cool moments with him that stand out to me. And his death, despite it being something really sad, I think it was something that pushed him on this list because it kind of evolved Clementine's character. To me, Omid dying and the relationship with Krista and all that was necessary for the story to happen. I wish he would have been able to live so much longer, but it's unfortunate. Let's move on to number 8.
You know what? I'm gonna step up. Lead this place in the right direction.
Then as far as I'm concerned, Richmond's in much better hands than it was.
So, despite The Walking Dead: A New Frontier being considered by many fans a colossal failure, I'm going to put one character from it on this list, and that is going to be Xavier, the playable character. Several reasons he stands out to me compared to any one other character. New Frontier's characters were really bad, but I think Xavier was one of the shining characters in this story. Let's talk about a couple reasons why. Funny lines. That's the first one. Couple funny ones. Batter up, F-face. I hope you choke on your effing cake. I effing love pudding. Just absolutely said a bunch of hilarious things that stood out to me. Also, his commitment to his family. He was a family man. Started off, really at the beginning, it was kind of slow with this character, but you got to see further on in the episodes, I really got to get more hooked with his family relationship and all that. Also, you have him trying to calm down David. That entire thing with the brother. I like the brother connection there, and obviously, he had a certain charisma to him that stood out. And I missed him. I wanted him in the final season so much, and I was so disappointed that they didn't bring him back. And I'm hoping maybe if there ever is a Walking Dead game in the future, we can continue his story. Maybe, because I'd like to have him, like a lot of people to agree. They want Xavier back. Even though A New Frontier was considered a colossal failure, you have better writing, better characters. You have final season elements added to it, like, Javier's story again. We could have a lot better story and characters and interaction and all that stuff with that. But Xavier, the one shining moment of A New Frontier for me. Alright, let's move on to number 7.
No time for Grandma to cook between church and Bible study, so fast food. Damn, I'd give an eyeball for a chicken nugget right now.
At my number 7 spot, I picked Violet from The Walking Dead, the final season. I personally loved Violet, even though a lot of you think I hate her, based on because I picked Lewis in my main walkthrough. I thought Violet brought a lot to the table. Their relationship with Clementine was something I really enjoyed. That path, seeing it play out completely different than the Lewis path, and I felt so bad though in my main walkthrough with her having her eye, burned out. That was such an unfortunate thing. But I'm glad she came to her senses about Minerva and all that, and she, what I really loved about Violet was her commitment to the school, to everyone. Her love was something I really appreciated and noticed from the get-go. She cared. And even in the end, when she got captured on that boat, potentially determinedly, she was kind of saying the things she said because she felt betrayed and she didn't want anyone else to get hurt, and I can completely relate with her in that case. But she was also really funny, had some pretty cool badass scenes, and didn't stand down for nothing. She's definitely deserving of being on this list. So let's move on to our next character.
Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine, you are lost and gone forever. Dreadful sorry, Clementine.
At my number 6 spot, I picked Lewis from The Walking Dead, the final season. Couple reasons he stands out to me. One, down to earth. Definitely one of the chillest guys you'll meet in the Walking Dead series. He's funny, entertaining, the singing. I loved the Oh My Darling Clementine episode, and what a hitch. Also, he had some great moments in the first couple episodes. His positivity, even though in episode 2 he can go a little rogue, his commitment was what really stood out to me. And also, he's a great romance choice. Either one, you pick Lewis or Violet, they're both great romance choices. He's entertaining. Very, very great character. But there's a lot of more gems in The Walking Dead. Sadly, if we're just saying the final season list, he'd be up near the top. But there's some great characters we still gotta reach.
Don't come over here. Hey, I can make it. It's fine.
A character, in my opinion, that deserved a lot more respect, and some people have forgotten about this man because he hasn't been mentioned that much after his death in Season 2, Episode 5. Luke from the cabin group, the last survivor of it, and probably, in my opinion, the most important one. His leadership, underappreciated, really, what he did, originally even trusting Clementine usually in the beginning. He's kind of seemed a little off at first, but like I said, he's a character you grow on. And his commitment, what he would do for his group, and the guilt he felt at the end, especially knowing that his birthday was pretty much the day he died, is such a sad moment. And Clementine and Luke, they had a great bond. You know, Luke, I kind of looked up almost like Kenny in a way. Kind of just looking over Clementine in that way. But it's just, his death was just so, it messed up the whole group. Luke is what kept the group together. And that's why he's such an important character. That's why I put him in the top 5. His importance to that season 2, without him, that cabin group falls apart. Without him, you saw Kenny, Jane, it all fell apart. So that's why I put Luke at 5. Rest in peace, Luke. Hope we get something more with you in the future. On to number 4.
You made it so I can. So, thank you. For everything.
You're welcome for everything.
So, when The Walking Dead final season was announced, I didn't know what kind of character AJ was going to be. We all had our ideas, and obviously after A New Frontier, there was a lot of worries. Now, after seeing the trailer with Clementine and AJ on the bridge saying row your boat, and immediately after finishing up episode 1, the action with AJ shooting Marlon, I wasn't sure how AJ was going to end up. Was he going to be a villain? Was he going to be a hero? And what really set AJ apart from me on this list is what got him into this top 4 was the ending of episode 4, Take Us Back. This entirely was the moment. Saving Clementine's life. Regardless of what you had taught him as Clementine, he made the decision to chop Clementine's leg off, and the way he saved him, I made a video talking about the specifics. If you want to check it out, it'll be linked in the card in the top right. But the entire way he saved Clementine, going against her teachings and keeping her alive, and pretty much his impact in the future, if they ever do another Walking Dead season centralized around him, is going to be crucial. But his character evolved so much, and his character was so amazing. I loved it. His character felt ever changing. All the dark moments, the light moments, and the ending. And that's why I loved his character so much. He had all those metamorphosis changes. You thought maybe he's going to be Carver Jr. Maybe he's going to be Clementine. Is he going to die? I felt a bond to him. I wanted to keep him alive. There's other characters you would say, oh my goodness, just let him die. You know, AJ could have been one of those characters. Oh God, I don't give a damn about him. I did. And I'm glad he made it as far as he did and survived. So, on to number 3.
Holy shit.
Wait, you know this guy? Clementine?
At my number 3 spot is Kenny from The Walking Dead Season 1 and Season 2 and A New Frontier. Kenny, to me, is a near-perfect character, if not perfect. I know, he's number 3. That's how good some of these characters are. This man went through hell and back just to get to where he was in the end. And unfortunately, his ending was one of the most BS stuff that you probably could ever write up. And that's why New Frontier is regarded in the bottom pits of hell. Just messing around with that. But Kenny, his impact on not just Clementine, the people around him. Now, I do agree in Season 2 he did lose it a little bit. And obviously the loss of his family, Sarita, that really just kept hitting him, and he was in a dark place, and it kind of caused his character flip. But in the end with Jane, that entire fight sequence, I thought if you'd kept him alive, he changed his mind. I think really that was once he killed Jane, he finally realized, oh my goodness, what have I been doing this entire time? And his sacrifice at Wellington eventually, if you go to Wellington, that was just a heartbreaking scene. Kenny's one of those characters I cried for, and it's hard, you know, there's not many times I've cried playing a video game, but Kenny was one of those characters I felt tears around. I felt sad about. I felt an attachment, real attachment to. And that's why he deserves this spot. So, rest in peace, Boat God Ken. On to number 2.
Where'd you live? I lived in a house with my mom and dad. Fence around it, big backyard.
I mean, 1 and 2, it's basically a toss-up to me. But still, after even all the stuff that happened in the final season, I believe Clementine is one of the top 10, 20 best characters in gaming history, without any questions asked. Everything she went through from the beginning, this character is something, you know, we've all grown up with, in essence. I was in my, basically, 8th grade year, and now I'm in college, right when she finished up. It's crazy. We all grew up with her, this journey, and it's sad to see it end. I really am going to miss Clementine in The Walking Dead. I know there might be something else coming, who knows, but it probably will not be with Clementine, and I'm okay with that. I'm glad she survived. Her entire journey was probably, like I said, one of the most, if not the most emotional experience I've had in gaming ever, and I'm going to miss her very much, but you can't beat Lee. I'm sorry, you can't. And let me explain why. Let's move on to Lee, number 1.
Hey, Sweet Pea.
Lee?
One and 2, as I stated before, is a toss-up. You can't go wrong with either picking Lee or Clementine. But to me, The Walking Dead Season 1 winning 80+ Game of the Year awards, the entire journey of Lee Everett being a convicted killer, being driven to prison, in a crash, meeting Clementine, and their sudden relationship, the bond, and all the stuff he had done, I enjoyed every second playing with Lee. And what really made Lee's journey to me the best was the ending. Now, I know it was really sad, and we all wish Lee was still alive, but I thought that's what made it so amazing. The ending. How sad the ending was. That's what made The Walking Dead to me. The Walking Dead Telltale. I believe episode 5 was the episode that really was the episode. I mean, episode 2 with the St. John's, that was my favorite, and definitely I think that was the best episode of the season. But episode 5, Lee's ending, it was something that no matter what happens, if they ever do Walking Dead again, you never really can beat season 1. Nothing beats season 1 in my opinion. And Lee's entire journey, advice, Clementine, even the years after he died, looking back to him, advice, that's how important Lee was. And a lot of people would talk about him. Kenny, Krista, bunch of old characters, Lily, they all brought up Lee. And that was the reason why, his leadership, heart, commitment. And that's why I have him at 1. So I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you made it this far, thank you all. I love you all very much for your support. We will have another one next week, top 10, top 5, depending on how things go. Leave some down below in the comments. If you made it this far, please make sure you smack a like and hit the subscribe button for more Walking Dead content on the channel on our road to the Definitive Edition in September. Alright everyone, I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.
Safe and sound. Safe and sound.